This year, Pets lost one of its greats, Ross Anderson. Ross was a giant in our field, an early advocate for more secure, private, and trustworthy systems, and a mentor for many people in this room. To say a few words about Ross, I'd like to invite Stephen Murdoch to the podium.
No, I've got some notes on here though. Okay, yeah, thank you. I'd like to take this opportunity to say a few words in memory of my colleague, Professor Ross Anderson, who sadly passed away in March. Ross was one of the early advocates for privacy-enhancing technologies, and this symposium in particular. I'd probably say his academic contribution started around about in 1996 with his groundbreaking Eternity Services design. This recognised the disturbing trend of the growing internet of being far more heavily centralised than the publication schemes that came before. While the internet made it very easy to view documents, it also made it very easy for censors to remove these documents from the internet by targeting the hosting providers. So the Eternity service did for the internet what the printing press did for writing. Replicate knowledge so nobody could remove all copies, no matter how powerful they might be. Ross's vision helped set the technical agenda for the coming years in privacy-enhancing technologies and elsewhere. It emphasised the need to consider not just the confidentiality of information, but the availability. And that became the focus for a large number of items of ongoing research. For example, there was Freenet, a system that is still running, which was inspired by the Eternity service design. And then there was also the Freehaven project, from which the Tor software was developed. But it's not just the technical contributions that are important when it comes to Ross's career. It was also understanding about the reason that he chose to address these problems, the values that underpin this work, and how he nurtured the communities that he engaged with. The Eternity Service paper was motivated by the Church of Scientology's attempt to censor criticism originating from the former members of the church. And this was just one example of a consistent thread throughout all Ross's research, which is a willingness to tackle big problems that protect vulnerable individuals from powerful interests. The same values can be seen in other areas of his research. He looked at how to use economics to build incentives that strengthen privacy-enhancing technologies, or how we can use psychology to teach us into building networks that people will want to protect. And then the work that I collaborated with Ross extensively on is banking security. So he was able to identify both problems like systemic vulnerabilities in the banking system, but equally he was enthusiastic about protecting individual fraud victims, working with them if they were unfairly treated by the legal system. And it's not just privacy-enhancing technologies that Ross has worked on, of course. He worked on many other fields and in some cases founded new fields. The fast software encryption workshop, which is still running, Ross set that up in response to the high performance encryption only being available in specialized hardware, which was vulnerable to backdoors being inserted by governments and others. He worked to set up the workshop on economics of information security to facilitate collaboration between computer scientists and economists. Security and human behavior did the same for psychology. Through his research and these communities, Ross leaves behind a strong legacy. But more importantly, he's helped build the next generation of security engineers through the students he supervised and others he supported. And in no small part, his success is because him knowing when it was time to push a field forward himself and when it was time to step back, let others take over and develop their career in turn. He then moved to supporting many other junior researchers, myself included, through advocating for them behind the scenes. As we remember Ross today, I hope we can celebrate his profound influence on privacy-enhancing technologies and the wider field of information security. Recognise his commitment to excellence, and also I can hope we can learn from his dedication to teaching and mentorship.